Mike Waltenbury, and welcome to Oak Island Meadows here in Canadore, Ontario. I've lived in this area for 16 years. I rented farmhouses to find out whether or not this is the lifestyle that was conducive to, I guess, the ambitions that I had in life. After marrying my wife, we lived on a lake for 2 years, and then finally we made a decision of buying this property, and we've been here for 10 years now. I like the layout of the land. That's what first drew me here. On the one side we have a river, on the other side there's a big rocky ridge, so we just feel isolated, even though we're not that far removed from society or for other farms around us. So it's very peaceful. It's that peaceful setting that allowed us to kind of live in harmony and not get stressed out about anything, really. The farm we have here is basically very back to basics, is the approach that we're taking. And so we're raising grass-fed beef, and that's more or less the moneymaker for the farm. Not that it's a lot of money, mind you, but that is the foundation of the whole farm. At one time, people were able to live on the farm, live off the farm. Nowadays, it's more or less people living on the farm, and they have to basically work a second job somewhere else to sustain that. And those are the people that make the choices based on the lifestyle that living on a farm provides. As we imagine the way farms were 20, 30 years ago, that's a dying breed. Like the family farm, I guess, is a common expression being used. And it is a dying breed, and it all comes down to economics. We live in a society now where the population's so great, and we insist on having food at a certain price. They want it cheap, and they want it now, and they want it year-round. So given that, they question whether or not there's even a choice but to go big commercial farms. And it's big agribusiness, and so it requires the fertilizers. It requires a large equipment. We can't afford the manpower like we may have expected to see on a farm 50, 60 years ago. So I think that's more of our own making. It's kind of the nature of the beast that we really can't get away from. And that being said, it's a real turnoff for a lot of people. It might be a lot easier just to go work 9 to 5, get your pay, and then you have that time to yourself. There's also the element that with farming, it's not a 9 to 5 job. You wake up in the morning, you're on the farm. You go to bed at night, you're on the farm. You may hear cows bawling out in the field, or you might hear coyotes coming in, and the dogs are all worked up at 3 or 4 in the morning, and it's something you might have to investigate. And that doesn't necessarily appeal to everyone. We could have people come over and visit and just shake their heads at the workload that we've given ourselves. But what's the alternative? I'm going to sit at home on the couch watching programming or something on television, and then my children watch me live that type of lifestyle. What kind of skill sets or even work ethic have I passed on to them? Sure, there's lots of work here, but that in itself is a reward. Knowing that at the end of the day that we put in a good day and we feel good about it, we feel productive. I don't think as human beings we're meant to really sit there and allow ourselves to stagnate. And that's not something I want for myself, and that's not really values that I want to pass on to my children. It's important for us that we get them to be a part of this lifestyle, this experience. Important in the sense that I want them to develop a decent work ethic. I have no expectations of them staying on a farm, living on a farm, or becoming farmers later on in life. I want them to just be able to have the tools required, and the basic element of those tools is knowledge, to be able to self-educate themselves, to be able to question where things are coming from, or what they're being told and what they should be doing, and so that they could decide for themselves, to me is more critical.